Howdy Outlaws, it's your old outlaw pal, Grim Reaver Actual here, and I want to thank y'all for stopping by. Welcome to my first ever hunting guide for Red Dead Redemption 2. This guide is based on near 3,500 hours of gameplay experience, and over those thousands of hours, I've spent countless days hunting, fishing, exploring and learning the ins and outs of the frontier. Whether you're looking for perfect pelts, trapper gear, satchel upgrades, camp improvements, legendary animals, or just want to become a better hunter, this here guide is for you. Over the years, I've hunted just about everything Red Dead Redemption 2 has to offer, from white-tailed deer and elk to wolves, grizzlies, panthers, cougars, moose, and even some of the rarest animals in the game. Along the way, I've had my fair share of successes, and Lord knows I've had my fair share of mistakes too. In this guide, we're going to talk about both. We'll cover the fundamentals: bait, animal quality, predator hunting, legendary animals, horse management, special hunting locations, and a few tricks I picked up over the years. But more important, we're going to talk about the mindset of a good hunter: patience, observation, adaptability, and learning to recognize an opportunity when it presents itself. Because one of the biggest lessons I've learned after all these years is that hunting ain't always about finding the animal you're looking for. Sometimes it's about taking advantage of the opportunity that's right in front of you. So sit back, relax, and let's get started. Before we get into the finer points of hunting, there are a few basics every hunter ought to understand. It don't matter if you're after a white-tailed deer in the heartlands, a moose up in Amberino, or a panther down in Lemoyne. These basics stay the same no matter what you're hunting. Learn them early, and you'll save yourself a whole lot of frustration down the road. Y'all can trust me on that. I ain't about to send you down the wrong trail. First things first, let's talk about animal quality. Every animal in Red Dead Redemption 2 falls into one of three categories: 1-star, 2-star, and 3-star. If you're hunting for perfect pelts, then 3-star animals is what you want. Now, there's something that's important to understand right from the get-go. No matter how clean your shot is, and no matter what weapon you use, a 1-star animal ain't never gonna turn into a 3-star pelt. You can preserve the quality of an animal, but you can't improve it. Now, if y'all are serious about hunting and collecting pelts, I'd highly recommend getting yourself the buck antler trinket as soon as you possibly can. The only way to get it is to first complete Exit, pursued by a bruised ego with good old Hosea in Chapter 2, and open up them legendary animals. Once you do that, head on over to the woods just north of Lake Owanjilla and get you that legendary buck. Once you get it, you can head on down to Rhodes or Saint Denis, find you a fence, and get that trinket crafted. It'll give you a little extra forgiveness on certain harvests and can help save materials that might otherwise be lost. Now, don't get the wrong idea. It ain't no miracle worker. It can't fix every bad shot. Think of it as a little extra help, not a magic wand. So before you pull that trigger, make sure you're looking at the best animal you can find. Now let's talk about choosing the right weapon. One mistake I see folks make all the time is using the wrong tool for the job. It don't matter how good your shot placement is. If you're using the wrong weapon, you can ruin a perfectly good pelt before you even get close enough to collect it. For larger game animals like deer, pronghorn, wolves, cougars, panthers, elk, and moose, I recommend carrying a good rifle. The Springfield rifle is a fine weapon, and I know a lot of y'all prefer it. Me personally, I prefer the slightly quicker action of the bolt-action rifle. When things get serious and you got more than one target to deal with, that quicker follow-up shot makes all the difference. If y'all want to get the bolt-action rifle very early in Chapter 2, there is a truly outstanding guide by my outlaw buddy, legendary Platypus Gaming, that'll show y'all exactly how to get it done. I'll leave a link in the description that'll lead you to it. Now, when it comes to hunting with repeaters, I use them a little differently than some folks. For coyotes, foxes, and large groups of ducks or geese that you're trying to take down for animal fat, I'd recommend using whatever repeater y'all like best. Me personally, I use the Lancaster repeater with regular rounds because it's reliable, accurate, and after all these years, it's the repeater I've grown to like the best. Let's talk about that good old varmint rifle. This is one weapon I always have in my loadout. I use it on animals like small and medium-sized rodents and all kinds of birds when I'm looking to preserve the quality of the carcass. Whether you're chasing after them perfect specimens for the wildlife art exhibition, or you're trying to collect feathers for upgrading throwing knives and tomahawks, or animal fat for volatile fire bottles, the varmint rifle is one of the best guns in the game. And last, but definitely not least, there's the bow and arrow. In my opinion, the bow is one of the most versatile hunting tools in all of Red Dead Redemption 2. Regular arrows, improved arrows, and small game arrows are the only ones you need for hunting now. If y'all choose to use dynamite, poison, or fire arrows on them critters, well, that's your journey, and you won't get no judgment from me. Learning when to use the right one on the right animal will make you a better hunter and help you bring home more perfect pelts and carcasses. We'll be taking a closer look at each of these throughout the guide. Now, before we move on, it'd be downright foolish of me not to talk about the lasso. A lot of hunters use the lasso when they're after a perfect pelt, especially on animals like deer, pronghorn, and elk. Once you got the animal roped, you can move on in and finish it with a knife for a clean kill. Truth be told, I don't use this method very often. I'd much rather take my shot from a distance and get it done and dusted. But I know plenty of folks who like using the lasso and knife for hunting, and there ain't nothing wrong with that. If you do decide to try it, I highly recommend getting your stamina stat maxed out first. Roping and holding a struggling animal with the lasso and pulling it toward you will drain your stamina faster than old uncle draining a bottle of whiskey. And if your stamina runs dry, you'll start losing health. And here's a little cautionary tale for y'all. You can lasso a bison, but I sure wouldn't recommend it. Not only will it drain your stamina, there ain't no way you can kill it with a knife. So don't waste your time. Right now, y'all are probably thinking, why in the world are you wasting your time demonstrating this? Well, I'm happy to answer that. Like I said many times before, I respect how valuable your time is, so it's better to waste my time than yours. And since we're on the subject, don't even bother trying to lasso predators. Wolves, cougars, bears, and other predators can't be roped the way them herbivores can. So when it comes to those critters, you're better off shooting them with your rifles or your bow and arrows. Now, there is a hunting situation where I do use my lasso every time it happens. Every once in a while, you'll be chasing a nice 3-star animal and it'll skin out right into the water like it's trying to cheat death. When that happens, and it's close enough, go on ahead and take the shot. Once it's down, grab your lasso, rope it, and haul it back to shore and collect that pelt. And if you're only after the meat, well, that'll work just fine too. In fact, pulling an animal out of the water can be the difference between a nice oregano venison steak grilled over a roaring fire, or a jar of sloppy mollies, assorted, salted offal. Like everything else in this game, the choice is yours. And that's the basics done and dusted, Outlaws. We covered how animal quality works, why a one-star animal's always going to be a one-star animal, and why getting that buck antler trinket early can give you a little extra help when you really need it. We talked about choosing the right tool for the job, the right rifle, repeater, the varmint rifle, and the bow and arrow for whatever you're hunting. We also talked about the lasso, when it can help you preserve a perfect pelt when it's best left alone, and how it can save a quality animal that ends up in the water. But that's just getting your gear together and knowing what it can do. In part 2, we're getting into the real hunting. We'll talk about hunting from the saddle, stalking on foot, using the wind to your advantage, baiting prey and predators, reading animal behavior, and knowing when a great opportunity's sitting right in front of you. I want to thank y'all for taking the time to watch and listen to me jawing about the finer points of hunting in Red Dead Redemption 2. If y'all enjoyed this here video and maybe even learned something, please consider giving me a like, comment, and if you're feeling extra generous, a sub. Until next time, Outlaws, this is your old outlaw pal, Grim Reaver Actual, saying take care of your horses and keep 'em guns clean. Outlaws for life.